Entertainment Motorsports Organization proudly announces our partnership with PRI Custom Coolers. PRI Custom Coolers offers the quality and performance of its higher-priced competitors with customization options not offered anywhere else. The competition at Demo 1 may be on fire, but rest assured, PRI Custom Coolers will keep your drinks cold. To get your custom cooler today, visit pri-ks.com and let Todd know Demo sent you. Join us October 3rd through the 6th for Demo 1 at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Have you been to Bristol?
Mm-hmm. All right. Welcome to episode 39. Chad's not going to be able to join us, or he might be able to get on just a little bit later. He's out in the field working yet. So we've got two of the big three that are coming to King to run against each other. We got JT, the defending King. Thanks for jumping on here, and Pete Hansen. Maybe the king of PA, in his own mind, right, Pete?
I'm trying like hell, but Ohio's just got me beat up, you know. But this time I'm going to change the platform for sure. We're gonna definitely get it done.
Before we get too far into this, guys, everyone tuning in, we had a couple videos there run. We want to give a big shout out to PRI Custom Coolers, as they did join us and became the official cooler of Demo. So anyone looking to get a custom cooler, which with the performance of a name brand cooler and the customization of a one-off, go ahead and visit pri.ks.com. So guys, we'll go ahead. Let me get a drink here. We'll go ahead and talk about your sponsors and what happened to get to this point to make this happen. And we'll ask you guys some pointed questions like, hey, are you guys crazy, to run against each other with this much talent on the track? And why are you doing this? And what does this look like for the sport? And what's going to happen out there? How do you guys anticipate this going? So I want to go through a couple things here real quick. This is the flyer. And as you guys can see, we've got two people, our two organizations in Low Car Performance Products and Driven Racing Oil from outside of the Derby world that are putting their stamp on you guys. So we'll go ahead and go through that to give these guys some love. So JT, we got you hooked up with Low Car Performance Products. They're going to be offering a steering wheel that will be available at the King. That is 3/16 stainless steel, basically like an unbendable steering wheel for guys. So they're going to be getting into the Derby world, which is really cool. They'll be partnered with JT, and that'll give a little sneak peek on the right there of what JT's car is going to look like with the wraps on it there at the King. And we got Chad Markley, who's partnered with the Simple Solution. Obviously, Robbie's become a staple in the Derby community and is really stepping up big time, to support Chad in this big three matchup. So hats off to Robbie. And we're going to be doing some special things with Robbie that he's going to be announcing along with this this partnership with Chad. And then Pete, we got you hooked up with Driven Racing Oil. So this is another exciting sponsorship because it's outside of the Derby world. We talked to you and Brett Johnson, and you guys kind of gave the nod that you were willing to partner with Driven Racing Oil. So we're excited about these three partnerships, these three brands, these three organizations. And then these three drivers, came together to really give us something special at the King. And guys, I'm really excited about it. So let's get into that. Why'd you guys say yes? JT.
I'm looking forward to the competition. To run against guys like Chad and Pete, that's what you build cars for. I'm looking forward to the opportunity that lies ahead. You know what I mean? You got to run against guys like Chad and Pete. To run against them, you're going to learn some things. whether it's good, bad, or whatever. I guarantee I'll walk away from that heat a better driver. And plus, I'm looking forward to the opportunity to see if I can get lucky.
Pete, what you think? Why did you agree to run against these two?
I mean, my whole life. I mean, I've told everybody the same story. I mean, I try to go, to the top of the ladder, and you got to beat the best. I mean, JT's top of his game. I mean, Chad's been at the top of his game. I mean, I'd rather go against these guys than I would be, bouncing into a county fair. It's definitely a bigger challenge, and my whole life's been a challenge, and the adrenaline rush. It's just, I didn't no way I could ever say no.
Well, you guys certainly did not say no. As a matter of fact, I mean, I could bringing this up to you guys. Pete, we've been talking about this for a couple years, and you've said no to nobody at any time.
Right.
That's a fact. And JT has to be, he is the king. He's the defending king. And he had not one slither of doubt that he was going to say yes. And kudos to you guys. Kudos to you guys for doing this. Chad was the same way. He's willing to put it all on the line. And because, guys, this is a big moment. I really think this is a big moment. I don't think any of you guys are going to walk away like holding your head because you guys know damn well anything can happen out there. And you were willing to do something that nobody else was. There's not a lot of people that would agree to a matchup like this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd rather lose to these guys than somebody lesser because, I mean, it's definitely – it's not a lose when you lose to them, to be honest with you. You're still right there at the top of your game. Like JT said, anything can happen. We're working with automobiles that everything might be brand new, but there's always that faulty thing that can happen.
Brian, what you got? Hop in here.
Well, I think the coolest thing about it is, the event itself, King, with the format, it really highlights the importance of pure competition on the track, and you're not hiding from anybody out there. You're not going to use politics to get your way to the feature. And the fact that these three guys who are very well-known drivers, builders, and very accomplished drivers and builders all across the country, they're known. And for them to agree to put it all on the line and pay it forward for the sake of competition, that speaks volumes to what we're trying to do here, not only in demo, but what these three guys are trying to do to push the sport forward themselves individually. And I'm proud to be a part of that and be able to watch it at the side of the track. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
What is that anticipation going to feel like? Do you think it's going to feel any different because all eyes are going to be on you guys? JT, Pete, you guys have been through this. You guys know we do the random draws at the track. Do you think it's going to be different this time, knowing that you're going to, you know who you're running against?
I'm sure it's going to be a little different, going into knowing what you got to do. I mean, going against Chad and Pete, that's awesome drivers. One thing about the way you guys draw, that makes it hell of an anticipation, who you're going to get, if you're going to get a little bit lucky or, to draw two tough drivers like we got coming up. So going into it, knowing who we're running against, that's going to be a long night, sitting there waiting for the last heat of the night, I heard. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, it only makes sense that you guys are the last heat of the night. We're selling this as a headliner type deal, and the headliners, are the last heat of the night. So we've talked about doing it a couple different ways, but it only makes sense for you guys to end the night.
I agree.
I think, this heat can go one of multiple ways. We could be hard at her. Because we've all have different driving styles slightly, but JT and Chad are more similar. I can play the same game, but sometimes I like to get a little heavy on the throttle. So it just all depends. I can turn my switch on and off. It's definitely going to be an interesting one for sure.
Has there been any film study? Are you guys studying each other? What's going on behind the scenes? I know, Pete, you've kind of had your mind off things here for a couple of weeks, but you pretty much had your car built, 2 months ahead of time. So what's that been like behind the scenes?
Sorry about that, JD. The whole time I was building my car, when I got tired at night, I'd flip on Blizzard Bash and I'd watch Chad a little bit, and I'd flip back to the King and watch JT a little bit, and just figuring out, one guy might spend more time turning left and the other guy might spend more time doing this, and one guy will lean on you harder than the next guy, and you just got to learn what they're doing and just be able to counteract what they're doing.
JT, what's the conversations been like in your shop?
I'd be lying if I said I haven't watched Chad or Pete at all. I'd be a lie. But for myself, I try to go back and watch the previous derbies I've ran, and see mistakes I made, and try not to make that same mistake twice. So a little bit of film study and watching them too, but mainly on myself, making sure I don't repeat any mistakes I've made in the past.
It's pretty neat to hear that, guys, that there's a little bit going into that. So JT, I know kind of where your car's at, and I kind of know where Pete's at, and I know where Chad's at. It seems like you guys are all, Chad might be the furthest away from actually running and driving on his car, but it seemed like you guys were all pretty motivated to get these cars done this year and get them in the shop. Did this play into that?
For myself, it's just pretty much me and my dad. He's 59 years old, 60. He can't put the real long hours in. I've had some help with good buddies. Donnie Gibbons helped me out. Seth Young, Luke Myers, my little brother Seth. But it's just mainly me and my dad for the most part. So just only two of us. We want to get a good start on it. That way, if we run into any trouble down the road, we had enough time to fix what we had to fix.
Yeah, I'm happy I got mine done with this what we're dealing with now. And but yeah, the winter time's the best time. That's why I always said big shows should be in the spring of the year. It gives the guy all winter when it's cold and it's nice warm shop, and you can spend the time on the car, and you ain't rushed.
Do you guys feel? What do you guys think this heat will do? What is it doing anything? Do you think it's going to start is it a little bit of a culture shift? Have we felt that yet? Or are we able to feel that? Or is that just going to be something that maybe happens organically that Friday night with the anticipation? Where do you guys think we're at here?
Go ahead, Pete.
I was waiting for you. That's the biggest problem we have in our sport. The politics have really hurt it. A lot of teaming going on, and it's not even a team show. I love the format. Like JT said, you can get a bad draw with two buddies, and but at the end of the day, I'd rather do 1-on-2 than 4-on-1. But I think we need more competition versus competition. It's only going to make everybody better. You always see in any sport, like we talked to Chris Burster, me and him had this conversation. You draw circles in the different states where the badasses come out of what states, and like you look around that Mercer and Lima, and Allen County, and Toby Hiley, Scott Zisselman, you put the bronze in that mix. There's a lot of badasses that come out of that area. You move up by me. I had to travel to find competition. And every time I did, I feel like it made me better. Now JT, I think his area probably had some badasses in it. I know his dad was always a badass, and which was a great thing and helped him on. but this is definitely, I mean, anybody that's not going to try to go against the best, I mean, you're just never going to get better. This is definitely the way to go. I mean, I'm excited about it. Like when Dustin called me, it's like, hell yeah. I mean, this is on the bucket list. These guys here are the guys you want to beat to move yourself up the ladder.
Go ahead, JT.
Yeah, I mean, as for me, I love the competition aspect of it. Hopefully this heat can go out there and live up to the height that it's got. That's what I like about the format. Dustin, I think you commented on a couple weeks ago. If us Ohio guys go out to Illinois, we're outnumbered. In a bad way. Go way out west. But with format, only 3 of us being out there, worst thing you can have is 1-on-2. And like Pete said, that's a whole lot better than trying to go out and beat 4 buddies or 5 buddies at once. I think we've all been there, and that's a tough build to do. So hopefully, us 3 kind of taking this step, and with the sponsorship backing us up, hopefully there's a lot more of this down the line.
Yeah, and look, you guys, we're not shying away from you guys for taken care of by the sponsors, and that to me, that's one of the biggest aspects of this, is because I think that's where we're trying to get to. We're trying to become a professional motorsport, and to have somebody take care of things or pay for things or pay you, to participate and show up, shows, I think, a huge step and a huge progression in the sport. And that's what's neat about this. I think it all kind of comes hand in hand, for you guys to be willing to do this. And I think it made sense. There was enough on the line. You guys were getting taken care of enough that it made sense to go out. And then, quite frankly, you guys mentioned it. This could have drawn itself anyways, at the King. You guys know that. And you guys could have replaced yourselves probably with 15, 20, 30 more guys, right, that were just as tough. And it's just it's not easy at the King. You guys have been willing or not willing, but able to get it done in the heats. JT, I know that's got to be a great feeling. Pete, you've had that feeling to get it done in the heat. And to me, that's almost like a feature win in itself. I mean, walk us through what it is like to win a heat, and then maybe what it's like going to be to win this heat.
For me, I won a heat at King last year, and that was number one for me last year, was put in the show. When I was able to put in the show, that was a big deal for me. And then, we was able to shift our focus on Saturday, putting the car back together, and be able to really focus in on Sunday and be able to get the job done. For me to be able to win a heat like this, that's big. I mean, Chad and Pete both, they've been in big derbies, won some big derbies, so whoever wins this heat, I want to go out on a limb here and say, that's big. I mean, that's a huge win just for the caliber those 2 guys are, those 2 competition guys are.
Yeah, definitely. This heat, you're going to have to earn it. There ain't going to be no gives, that's for sure. It's going to be. I'm excited. I'm revved up about it. Like, I get goosebumps thinking about it. I can't wait.
Chat, we'll reach out to the chat. Chat, what do you guys think? Over, under? We've been averaging 13-minute heats at the King for the last 3 years. We'll go over, under 15 minutes with these guys. What do you guys think? Chime in. We didn't ask you to pick a winner yet, but we will. Who you got? I know everybody has their favorites, but what do you think, Brian? Over, under 15 minutes?
I'm gonna say under. I think it's gonna get rowdy. I think there's gonna be a couple minute get to know you period, and then Chad's gonna smack Pete, and then Pete's gonna turn it up, and JT's gonna jump right in, and it's gonna be a dogfight. That's what I think.
It sounds like you might have that drawn out in your head. Do you guys have that drawn out in your head? How do you guys think it's going to go? Over, under 15?
Over.
I'm going to go over 2. As long as nobody has any mechanical failures or something, we don't see coming. It's think it's going to be a dogfight. It should be interesting anyway.
I'd say probably closer to a half an hour. I mean, very rarely you see JT shit quit, and very rarely you see mine ever quit, and same with Chad. So, I mean, you put three of them out there. I mean, you know, yeah, you might knock a wheel off, but that car's still going to get around. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, no doubt. And, you know, you just got to make legal contact. You still got your minute. That would be a neat deal if somebody won this on three wheels or handicapped or crippled in some way and pulled it off. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen. The unique thing about this, guys, and I commend you over and over and over for doing this, is we just don't know. We really just don't know. You know, we're going into, we talk about this being a combat motorsport, and this is the UFC with cars. Gentlemen, we just don't know what's going to happen. Somebody could just, we know damn well each one of you guys takes a bad shot, and it might be just game over. Time to get with it right there. Or you may get hurt, you know, and you may think that, hey, I got to get with it, you know, right then and there. So this is going to be fun. And I hope that we can do what we're about to see. I hope we can do it justice. We're going to be coming out with some different things over the next couple weeks, and I hope we can do it justice leading up to it, and then and leading up to your guys' performance on the track.
Yeah, I mean, we're all three of us are friends. I mean, I'm friends with Chad and JT, and you know, have kind of the same relationship with both of them. So, I mean, there's no way I can pick a side, you know, and it's basically all for one for all. So I think it's going to be a pretty fair matchup. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to try to 2-on-1 or anything like that. I just feel that enough respect from each other that I think we're going to, you know, you got to survive it by yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, speaking on Chad and Pete, you know, them guys are really tough, as we all know. And if they open up a shot, you got to take it. I mean, because they're not going to open up many. So when that opportunity presents itself, you got to jump on it, whoever it is, just try to get the upper hand in that moment, because you might not get another one.
You know, that's a great call. And Brian's going to be part of the commentary team there, along with, I'm sure, Steve and whoever else is coming along with Derby Tees. And I think, Brian, you're in a unique situation, man, that you're going to be able to call this action, and you're going to be able to call it for pay-per-view and kind of spell out like what is actually happening here. Like maybe JT doesn't, you know, I think the skill of it, like JT doesn't take that shot because, you know, this shot was coming or whatever. Because you guys and your skill level, I mean, this is going to be something special.
Yeah, and I think you know, calling it, you know, doing some commentary for Derby Nation, I'm excited about that to begin with. But to be able to do that for a heat of this magnitude, to watch these three Titans go out there and showcase the skill, that's what everybody wants to see. That's the product that we need to sell, not only to the current Derby world, because that's a problem that we have, and we've all acknowledged that, is that we have too many guys out there who think, you know, they're the best, you know, but are they willing to prove it? You know, and I think these three guys are willing to do that. So to watch that unfold on the track, to present that to the fan base, you know, I don't know. I'm gonna have to be standing up inside that trailer or wherever we're going to be at, because it's going to be exciting.
You know, JT,
Yeah, I mean, I really question some of the best in the country why they're not here.
Pete, you said that a couple years ago. I think JT might have alluded to that too. Why are more names not here for the big money that's on the line? JT knows that it gets paid, so that was a lot of cash. That's a lot of cash.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 26,000. That's that makes life a little easier in the Derby shop and gets the wife off your back.
It made the day-to-day life a little easier. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm a fortunate guy, though. My wife don't ever say nothing to me. I do what I want, how I want, when I want, and I got the best wife in the world. I wouldn't trade her for nothing.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
She's probably more excited about it than you are half the time, Pete.
Oh yeah, she just loves to sing, dude.
Yeah. I'm very lucky as well. I mean, I could spend all weekend in the garage, 12, 14-hour days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and not a word said. But I mean, for us, I mean, that's what it takes. I mean, all that time we're going to spend in the garage night after night. I mean, to go out there and run on the stage against these two guys. I mean, that's, in my opinion, that's what it takes.
No, hundreds of hours. I mean, if you ain't putting hundreds of hours in a car to go to a level of this magnitude, I mean, I don't know. I think you're going to be, well, they're the guys you see all the time crying and whining,
Guys, have you guys pinched yourself a little bit? I find myself doing this every once in a while. I find myself calling Brian and pinch yourself like, hey, wake up from this. Are we in this transition, this real neat transition that you guys are showcasing it, and obviously all the demo stuff that's happening, Bristol, all that, like, man, this thing's going. Have you guys ever sat back? Has that ever hit you? I mean, you guys are getting paid to do this. I mean, imagine that. I didn't know how far that was away. It was kind of a dream. Well, you three are,
I was really shocked when I got that phone call. Like, they were offering this to run against these two guys. I was really shocked when I got that phone call.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's crazy. I've been derbying for 30 some years, and it's like, you're just a number to the promoters. Like, you just come, show up, you run, you win, you lose, whatever, have a good day. But it's just different now. It just seems like a whole different world. Like there is a future. There's a possibility that, my kids or JT's kids it could possibly become a career. Like, whoever thought of that, starting out at the county fair and, dragging the cars in on a log chain to the fair. We didn't own trailers. We didn't own torches. We didn't own a welder when I started. We pickaxed all the chain holes in the cars and knocked the windows out, put an old boat tank in it, and, went and wrecked cars. It's now today we're $40,000-$50,000 deep in cars, and we're finally somebody's starting to recognize what we do, and the amount of work we do is insane.
Sure.
Yeah, I know, Brian, me and you talk about this, like, where's this at on the timeline, on the spectrum of things? It feels like we're there, man. It feels like we're there. We're in a lot of, obviously we're in a lot of conversations with demo, but it feels like you guys are there. And we've also talked about this, sports go as their superstars go. And essentially, on the promoting side of this, it's our job to give you guys the biggest stage that you can, that we can't, you guys can have. It's your job to make the most of it, and that's how you become superstars. And you three willing to do this, obviously with the demo stuff going on and all the drivers that are involved in that, it seems like we're kicking down the door, and it's been I know on this side of things, it's been a fun experience for Brian and I, and it's a fun experience to even imagine that you three are going to hit the track against each other and take that next step for the Derby world.
Yeah, I mean, me and JT, we're probably both in agreement. I mean, you got to give these guys kudos. I mean, we've never had this opportunity before. I mean, they're doing a lot of work behind the scenes and making all this stuff happen. And, in the fall, I'm able to go to Bristol Motor Speedway. I mean, it's mind blowing that we're able to do this, and it's all to these guys. I mean, these guys are the ones that are doing it. They're doing all the legwork, all the phone calls, all the this to that, the sponsors, I can imagine the amount of hours. I mean, they know how many hours we put into building cars and away from families. I can just imagine what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge. Bringing 2 sponsors in that's never been part of the sport before, get them come in, and then what you guys are doing for demo, who would have thought Demolition Derby being inside Bristol Motor Speedway 10 years ago? I mean, I don't think anybody would have ever dreamed it. So what you guys are doing behind the scenes, I think you guys have got a strong backing, and you're definitely moving the sport in the right direction, in my opinion.
I think what's happening, guys, is honestly, you guys spend hundreds of hours building a car, and we know that. We built cars, and Brian's obviously a truck guy. But I think for the first time, what's happening is there's a group of people. It's not just us. It's a group of people that are putting time in to grow the sport rather than just build cars for the next show. And I think that's where we're seeing the difference. And Brian, we are definitely seeing the difference in the conversations we're having. Who's going to be showing up at the shows. We haven't even – there's so much things that we haven't even talked about that are coming. The only thing we could say, and Pete and JT, you guys are well aware, and Chad would say the same, is, guys, don't miss the boat. Like help us row the boat, help us row the boat. We want all you guys to be there. We want the stage to be there for everyone to make their name. Not only, and I don't want to speak for you guys, but Pete, you know this, JT, you know this. We're looking for the next JTs and Petes. That's how we grow a sport. And you guys are helping doing that by you're gonna gain fans that Friday night at King of Ohio by doing this that never even maybe didn't never met you, didn't know who you are, or weren't fans. You're going to gain respect. You're going to gain drivers. You're going to gain the 20-year-old version of yourselves looking up and saying, hey, I want to be that guy. I want that stage. Did you feel the electricity in the air when those guys pulled on the track? That's what we're searching for. And that's our job on this side of things. That's our job, is to find you guys, the superstars, and then build a culture that cultivates superstars. And Brian, elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing that I've focused on is the future of the sport. We have the youth programs out there, the youth classes and stuff like that. But what we don't have right now is we don't have a structure that creates a path to stardom, that really prepares people, teaches these youth drivers, these younger drivers, or maybe inexperienced drivers. We don't have to base it on age. We can base it on experience. We don't have a path for them to reach that stardom, that platform. And that's what we need to create. And that's what we're trying to do with demo specifically. But it's being showcased here at the King. We want those future stars to witness what it's like to watch 3 superstars who are the current superstars of the sport to compete in the attention, the hype, the anxiety, the anticipation of it all. We want them to feel that through them, and have something to look forward to. We talk about it all the time. What does the sport look like in 10, 15, 20 years? Everybody talks about it, but nobody's doing something to create a sustainability plan to make it there. We have all these things for youth in place. We have youth classes all across the country, but nobody ever talks about how is it viable in 10, 15 years? How do they get to compete in 10, 15 years? What does that look like? And I just don't think it's sustainable with the way we currently do things. We don't have enough foresight into the future to prepare ourselves properly for a sport that needs new fans. It needs money, it needs attention, and it needs exposure. And that's what it's going to take to make this thing, popular into the future and sustainable into the future. And that's what we're trying to do.
Well, Brian, you're 100% right, because, I see it. And, when I haven't in the last couple of weeks, but, I'm seeing young boys that were really good, and I see them selling out, and I'm asking questions why and different things. And, they came through the youth program and they were really good, but the struggle's real across the country with the economy and the price of fuel and the price of groceries, and mom and dad trying to help these kids get up through this. And, they're not paying their mortgage because the boy needs a set of tires. And, to be able to move this like you guys are forward and actually get some outside money from some sponsors coming in, it's just the tip of the iceberg we're touching right now. But I think if we get dug in deep enough with us veteran drivers supporting it, it's going to help the young guys coming up through. Because I don't have a lot of years left. Dustin's telling me I'm going to have to stay forever, but I just turned 49, and I'm telling you what, I'm old, I'm beat up, and I'm still going to fight, but I don't know for how much longer. But I think these young guys, the sponsorships will come for them if we create it. They're our future. They're coming, and as we drop the torch, they need to pick it up. And it might not be a mom and dad that has all that money to buy that Collier or Redline engine or whatever. I think it's going to be huge for the future.
And sorry to not get to some of these comments. Keep commenting. We'll get to them as they come in. Brian hopped in here, and it's both. Responsibility of drivers and promoters, but drivers got to buy in, and you guys certainly have. So, JT, what you got on that?
Brian's right. It takes both sides. The drivers got to buy in. You're putting the stage on. We got to go with it. Be all in for it. Sponsorships. If we can get this thing to go and keep going in the right direction, promoting the sport in a positive way, it'd make it easier on everybody. With the cost, like Pete said, of everything nowadays, we got 40, 50 grand in these cars. So every little bit helps. So, we keep promoting the sport in a positive way, keep going in the right direction. I think it'll help the sport grow as well.
I think one of the things that is not brought up as much as it needs to be is, it's just a matter of time now as these sponsors, get more and more involved. But as we do that, the amount of pressure it's going to take off the home life, the family, robbing Peter to pay Paul to get extra, set of tires, this, that, getting gas money to go to these shows. It seems like, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, that you guys have been in this for a long time. The price of things have always kept going up. And for the first time, closing that gap, meaning you guys are getting a little bit of a change in your pocket to come run. Payouts are getting bigger. For the first time, we're closing that gap, because it seems like the one side, it never stops. Mm-hmm. It never gets, the parts keep coming, the cars get more expensive, but the payouts haven't went with it. And with what we're doing here and what you guys are able to do, and then the sponsorship coming in, we're starting to close that gap. And I hope that is that's recognized and that's understood. Not just with you guys. I hope that the younger generations, the people in the compacts, the people in the youth, the people in the trucks, I hope they use this stage and kind of this platform to go and get their own money and help close their gap, within their own garage. What else you guys got? You guys got anything else to do?
I just all excited to watch that white glove stick up there and break his flag off after I get done whooping his butt.
Oh man.
Well,
he's gonna need that white glove for toilet paper.
Pete, Chad's not here to defend himself, so don't.
Well, that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. JT, are you aware of Chad's white glove deal?
I have. I heard people comment on it, but I don't really know the specifics on it.
If you get the white glove, JT, at King, that means it's bye-bye time. So that means Chad thinks that he has a kill shot, or he already put the kill shot on you, and it's game over for you.
But hopefully I don't see that.
You don't want to see the lane frost wave out the driver's window.
Yeah, hopefully I don't see that.
And
I'm going to have a custom built white glove on.
yeah, that's going to be something that we're going to that's going to be neat to capture. You know, another thing that we're going to be doing with you guys, and I got a meeting tomorrow morning to go over the last little bit here, and then hopefully you guys are getting visits at your shops. Is we're able to bring a film crew in here and capture all this, and this is not. The film crew isn't just to capture, you know, King and what you guys are doing, but it's to capture the moment leading up to Bristol, and that iconic moment, which it sounds like both of you guys are going to be. Obviously, Pete is, and it sounds like JT from our conversations, you're going to be able to be involved too. So that's going to be a neat aspect of this. I'm really looking forward to see, because you remember these camera crews. They're going to follow you guys around at the show. They're going to be in your hip pocket, and they're going to get to see it down and dirty. So, have you guys thought about that at all?
Not really. I mean, I can't really change up what I do just because the cameras follow me around. I mean, we just got to go in and do our work like we normally do, and they capture what they capture, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. I mean, they'll see it.
I'm kind of used to the camera thing. I mean, we've had different, surprises, different things with the Philadelphia Inquirer, and just some cool stuff. And, just out of the blue, I mean, I never contacted them. They contacted me. But, yeah, cameras don't bother me at all.
JT, we're going to be sneaking your dad some refreshments, all right, before that camera crew gets there. And we're going to put it in his head that, Pete's the enemy, Chad's the enemy. So we get to hear some real commentary.
It'll make for interesting TV if you want to get some reviews or good views. That'd be a good way to do
it. We do want some good TV. So yes.
It's hard. It's really hard to get anything on JT because he don't wear that white glove, or you know what I mean. He don't have that thing you can pick out and work with to bash on him or pick on him a little bit. He's kind of that quiet guy. You got to be careful about them quiet guys, though. They'll sneak up and get you.
Hey, Chad heard us talking about him. He's trying to get back in here. His picture hasn't popped up yet. If Chad's video pops up, I'll get him back in here. He must have heard us talking about him.
Poke the bear. You got to poke the bear.
Yeah, come defend himself now.
Guys, one of the things that we're going to be doing with you guys is we're going to put you guys center stage. We're going to do some Q&As with you guys at the show. And then obviously we will have the camera crew following you around, which is going to be pretty cool. I think one of the things that we've tried to explain in the Derby world is you guys are headliners. And what does it mean to be a headliner of a show? And sometimes you get there's some negativity or something that comes with it, like, oh, you guys are playing favorites or this and that. And when you talk to the Derby community, one of the things that we want to get out there is headlining the show means that you guys have a responsibility to perform. And, that people are tuning in, they're coming to the show to see this product that has never been seen. And then also it means that you guys are willing to share the stage with your competitors. And that is a neat aspect that I think sometimes is overlooked when we're in this situation, just because we've maybe never been there. You guys are going to headline Friday night, but there's still going to be a king crowned Sunday. As a matter of fact, there's going to be 9 of them crowned. And I hope what happens here, because of what you guys are doing, regardless of how the heats go, regardless where you guys finish in the feature, if you guys do, whoever makes it to the feature, or if you get, knocked out in the first round or the concert or whatever, is that you've made the stage bigger for those 9 people that are going to become, King of Ohio's, the Kings of Ohio this coming weekend. Obviously, JT, you know what that feels like. It's a pretty special moment.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for that moment to be even bigger. And again, I applaud you guys for doing that, because it could be you, it could not. But the fact that you guys are willing to make that stage as big as you can really shows something about, you three.
Well, for whoever the 9 like you guys are, I mean, it's a great feeling, Brian. You had it last year in the trucks. I mean, to be able to share that in victory lane with your family, your friends, celebrate the hard work that went into the vehicle you built. I mean, it's something that me and my family will remember for a long time to come. So, I mean, it's an awesome feeling for the whole sport, whoever gets it done.
Yeah, I can definitely echo that. Dustin and I have talked about this a lot. He knows how much that meant to me, to do that on that day, given some circumstances that I'm dealing with right now, still. But those are things you never forget. That's an experience you never forget, and you hold it close. I've been able to, reach out to new people because of it. I've been contacted by new people, made friends with new people, been able to share my story and my perspective with new people. And I cherish that, because there's a lot of really good people in the Derby world that, I still haven't met yet. And I'd love to meet them and learn their story and learn what they're about, and, vice versa. So, it's a big deal. Winning should be a big deal. It should always be a big deal. And for a real competitor, it matters. And we want those 9 Kings of Ohio to feel that, every bit of it, when they get to go to victory lane. So I'm excited to see who gets to experience that.
And Pete, here's a little text message from Chad. He said, Ohio is like basically Kansas, and he said you can't win it either. So I don't know I don't know if that's straightforward enough. I don't know what that means.
Well, I've watched a lot of Blizzard Bash, and his politics are real good. I mean, he's the president of Kansas, Chad gets to drive around, and everybody hits everybody and takes everybody out for Chad. Then Chad comes out and waves the glove. Hi, I'm here. So I can't wait. I mean, I think this is the first time he's floated this far, east.
Yeah. And there's a very real possibility that all 3 of you will be in the feature and get to do it all over again. I mean, that's wouldn't that be crazy?
I think if the 3 of us make it to the feature, it's going to create an alliance between us. We're going to be still the same 3, but we're going to be an unstoppable 3 to the end.
Yeah. Look out.
It's not, I guess it's definitely not out of the question that you could. I mean, how it works out is obviously somebody wins the heat. You guys get in different consies. You win your consi, and then you're in the feature. As you guys know, not everyone makes the feature at King of Ohio. So there's usually 12 to 13 cars in the feature, and if you're there, you've earned it. Let me ask you guys this: does it feel like you've earned something going into that feature? Is it different than any Derby just because not everybody is in the feature? How does that feel?
It's a great feeling to win the heat, but come feature time, it's another game. Put your helmet on, go to work. I mean, it's a good feeling, don't get me wrong, but when feature time rolls around, it's time to go to work again. So.
Yeah, it's just like going to work every day. I still get a little butterfly twitching a little bit, but it's especially at the bigger shows like county fairs. When I bop in and out of them, I don't get that much anymore. A little bit maybe sometimes, but you get to the bigger shows, it still reminds me when I'm 16 and 17 years old. You get that first little, and after the first hit, it's all over, and now it's time to go to work. But
I'm sure all 3 of us in that heat getting ready for it. You're going to lie if you say, a little bit of have butterflies in your stomach. So I think all 3 of us will feel that a little bit.
Oh, I'll guarantee it. And, I'm excited. I think it's going to be awesome to be able to, the 3 of us and the caliber we're at, I mean, what people are, if you're not there, you're going to miss it. And it's never the same on TV. I don't care. I watch every pay-per-view because I can't go to them all. But, you know, when you're at a Derby, it's a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you feel the violence. You feel the violence in your chest when you're on site. So, and just looking at the some of the comments here, and we've talked about this before. We got some of our brothers from Australia tuning into the podcast tonight. You know, we're really excited that they're going to be coming over here for Bristol, and you know, you guys are talking to the world right now. That's huge. You're talking to the world of Demolition Derby, and they're excited about it too.
Yeah, so let's touch on that just a little bit. Shane Ryan, there's a couple Aussies, actually several of them are coming over for Bristol, and that is that's sweet because it's international, and it's like, man, what does it mean to be international? I think we were in it, Brian, you and I were in a conversation not too long ago where I said, well, you know, it's the UFC, but, you know, it's not as big as, it's not global. And somebody straightened me out in that conversation. Said, what do you mean? Why can't it be global? Sure. And then I thought thinking, oh, geez, I mean, hell, we're sitting over here trying to just organize a sport in North America. And I haven't really thought about the global side of this. And then, boom, these guys reach out to us. And they want to come to Bristol. I mean,
we've been international for a while with Canada, but I don't even consider Canada a different country when it comes to Derby. I mean, they're a part of us. You know, we're a part of them. It's kind of a brotherhood already. But to be able to extend all the way over to Australia, I mean, it didn't hit me real hard at first, but then the more I thought about it, I'm like, this is huge. Like, this is a huge thing, and I'm really excited to see where that goes.
So a couple guys in the chat are asking can this be seen? It can be seen if you can't make it live and in person, which is Lime, Ohio. It can be seen on DerbyNation.tv, and I'm sure we'll catch some interviews with these guys, so you'll get their thoughts, you know, going into the show.
What do you think, JT? Think Chad's going to bring a wagon?
That's what everybody's saying. So. I seen on his inspection sign up, it would be a GM, so I'd imagine.
Yeah, I hope so.
So you guys don't know what each other are bringing?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, because I know. I think I know, but I'm not gonna.
Well, Chad was kind of up in the air between the sedan and the wagon when I talked to him, and I mean, JT's just a 9802 guy. I mean, he's always been, you know. You wanted it, why change it?
Correct. 03, newer, wasn't it?
No, that was
9802.
Come on, Brian, pay attention.
I'm a truck guy. I don't care about cars.
Super Duty, right?
That's right, buddy. I'm gonna get you in one. Better believe it.
Hey, we just built Brian's first car, the raffle car at King. We just built it. He came down and helped, and it's almost done. It's going down to see the doctor at Brandon Meyer's base now. But you know, we'll have that ready. JT, talk to me. Talk to the audience, I guess, and your decision last year to not mess with the front of your car, to not pull it down. You got you and Tanner went to war in the heat, and
that was rough.
Yeah, that was rough, and you didn't pull it back down. What was the thought process going into that?
So when I climbed out of the car, because our group was over first, the other group was still going, and sitting on the side of the track looking at it, I thought it was hurt bad. Took it back to the trailer, really started looking at it, and the old ski cradle and transmission brace, it all kind of locked in together, and we kind of had a decision that wouldn't want nowhere further, and luckily it didn't, and everything panned out and won the Derby. So I guess it pays to spend a lot of money on cradles, I guess.
Shout out, Jason. I think both of you guys run his stuff. Hell, who doesn't run that stuff? So it wasn't hurt at all? Where'd you put your patchet plates?
One was up front of the A-arm, and then the other one's right behind it.
Okay.
everything just kind of went together. It wasn't one place that blew apart. The car is still sitting at my house. You're more than welcome to look at it. It's just all kind of went together and tightened up into the ski cradle.
Yeah, it's a cheated up Hiltibran car.
Is that the same car you ran at Findlay last year too, JT?
No, that's different. That's one I ran at Bash a couple years back.
I've heard rumors about them Hildebrand cars. The rumor I heard is that 98 02 has been running for 10 years, JT. Is that true? Any truth to that?
No, sir.
Well, there was a wagon floating around out there that, I mean, the quarter panels didn't even get scratched.
Yeah, that was an old Derby dog car. We had a lot of fun with that. Tore a lot of stuff up with it. It was a good time. But, it raised enough hell around these parts of Ohio. It was time to go up north, so that's what happened.
Was that like a Godzilla 2.0? What was that?
Miniature version of it for sure.
A miniature version.
The funny part was that was one of the first cars me and my dad built together when we got back into sport. We started working on it here and there, and it set out back for a good 6 or 7 years. And one day, I think we was getting ready for some. I don't know what the Derby was, and we decided to pull it out and kept running after run. It was a good time.
Was that Godzilla or the car that recently?
That was Godzilla.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pete, are you familiar with Godzilla?
I've seen the car, not in person, but, you know, I've heard the stories of his old man for years. And, you know, old guys from out in that neck of the country tell stories about his dad and stuff. And, I mean, they got a pretty good reputation of adding a little.
Just trying to compete with UPA, boys.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's funny. Well, Brian's going to be an inspection, so you know you guys aren't going to be able to get nothing by Brian. Okay, so
he's a truck guy. What's he know?
These truck guys got to figure it out.
Yeah, that's right. Don't you forget it. I'll be taking notes. Don't worry.
Well, guys, we'll answer some questions here, and I just wanted to say thank you guys for coming on. It's almost better that Chad wasn't on here. We can poke a little fun, you know. He chimed in from here and there. I guess chat. You guys got any questions? We'll ask these guys, and then we'll call our wraps for episode 39. Real quick, as we're waiting on those questions, just to give a shout out to the sponsors again. I'll pull this up. We got Pete with Driven Racing Oil. We got Chad Markley with the Simple Solution, and Jt Hiltibran with Low Cost. So, real excited to get these guys into the sport, and you know, thank you guys for repping them and being willing again to do this. Here you go, Pete. Looks like Dials. You guys aren't in the same division at Demo. I don't know if that shot's fair. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I always got my A game on. I'm not too worried.
Pete, you're never one to you're not one to lack confidence, and I think carrying yourself like that lends a hand to you and your performance on the track. I was surprised to hear that you get butterflies. So you're telling me that you can get under Pete Hansen's skin a little bit. You can get in Pete Hansen's head. Is that what you're saying?
No, not really get in. I mean, it's just that initial, like rolling in, the anticipation, the adrenaline. I think the adrenaline starts to get to that point in your body that it's like you start feeling different. You know, it's like, okay. But after that first hit, it kind of all goes away, and then you go to work. You know, it's I mean, it's a tough one to play with, but I mean, I've learned to control it over the years for sure. I mean, when it's time to go, though. I know where the right pedal is.
Well, it's that feeling that gets you in the zone. You know, it gets you in that competitive zone. You need to have that feeling. I've always said, you know, when I stop feeling that way, it's probably time for me to move on to something else. I mean, and I don't want to go out there and not feel like I'm going to compete. And I don't think you guys would either. So,
I mean, my whole life, I chased adrenaline rush. I mean, I rode motocross, I've run snowcross, I've drag raced, I've truck pulled, I mean, anything that's got an engine into it, and I can't leave it alone. It's got to be juiced. It's got to be added. It's got to be the best one out there, I feel. And, it's just, I've chased it my whole life, and I still feel it every time I get in something. But believe it or not, after doing all them other things, Demolition Derby is probably my biggest adrenaline.
Now, Pete, be honest for the audience here. You going to be more nervous for this heat or Iron City's heat last year?
I'm not really. I probably won't be nervous at all. It's you're talking you. I'm not worried about you.
He thinks you're nervous about him.
Yeah, well, that's a funny conversation because he thought he had enough for me, and then I started sending some pictures back to him, and he's like, "Oh, maybe I didn't."
I'm not worried about anybody who's entitled.
I'm just saying, Pete, in this circumstance, you're not going to be able to sick the dogs on these guys. So,
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I knew what you did last year. You sick the dogs.
Don't worry about it.
Dogs on me when it got down to 5.
Oh my God!
He got hit in the Derby and his entire steering shaft fell out.
Easy.
We better give him a box of tissues, Brian.
Yeah.
Live and learn.
It's like I need to do more welding for him so he can tack that steering column in right.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, I come to Ohio every time, and the dogs get sick from somewhere. I don't know where, but I mean, I just take the beating and carry on, and I come back for more and come back for more. You took the beating, you quit. Now you look at you. Now you're behind the desk every day.
There's no quit over here. JT, I just want to assure you, Pete's not going to be able to call in the dogs. Okay. There's going to be no timeouts during that heat of 3 for him to, get 3 or 4 cars on the track. So you'll be good.
That's the best part about the format, right?
That's the best part right there. Guys, that was a little fun. Thank you for that. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and thank you guys for putting it all in line. The 14th, June 14th at the King of Ohio, and heck, we may see it twice or 3 times throughout the weekend with you 3 because you guys are so damn good. So thank you guys for at least doing it once and representing these sponsors and giving the stage, providing the stage, making the stage bigger for everyone else. Thank you guys for doing that and getting on here.
Well, thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to have the stage to do it.
Yeah, it's big for me. I appreciate glad to be a part of it. So, thank you.
All right, that's it. We'll wrap it up. Episode 39. So here we go. We'll tune in at the King. See you guys.